Hey, welcome back. This video is going to be about finishing up the elevator. And if you know what this is, then you're going to know my favorite part of this video, because I'm throwing this away. Well, the last time you saw this, it was all kind of together, but oh well, we took it all apart. Cleaned it all up. The biggest thing to denib was the hinges. They were pretty nibbed up. So just start clecoing everything back together. I also reprimed all the areas that we had to re-denib. Oh, something I didn't say in the other video, but the clearance here, once it was all together, was needed to be, I took a 16th off of this. Make sure you put that little center bracket in before you close up the hole in the back here with the cross member. I pre-riveted these end pieces on before, so that all I got to do is rivet that from the sides. Make sure the angle on this one's quite steep because it likes to come up and hit here. You can see right down through there that the back one's in. Voila. That inside brace is in, and these are all basic clecoed, and now it's time to turn it over and finish the insides. This is the horn that pulls for down, and this is the little bracket that I made that fits on these two holes up here, about like that. And instead of these two, there'll be a third, so that can help with pivoting. Get a little more room on that upper one, you can just release some of these. Just making sure. This is it. We're gonna close it up now. So, re-inspection. Everything looks good. Yep, everything's in there. All accounted for. I'm making a new hatch for this because the cross member was in the way and I don't want it held on with just one rivet. So I'm gonna go with one that covers it, but it rivets to the bottom and to the top. I have to make this bend now. Yeah, I have to trim it all up yet, but here's the test fit. It covers it all the way up to the cross member. And I can shorten these up and round them and rivet both sides. That looks good. Yeah. So that's the new one. It goes from top to bottom and up to the cross member. And it covers the hole adequately. Well, as you know from the other video, I think that there's a little bit of twist in this with it's up slightly. I can look down it and it seems slightly bowed from tip to tip. I don't think the camera does it justice, but I've put little blocks under here just to have gravity holding that down over there. And I plan on riveting all the way across, hopefully chasing the metal that way, which will push this side down. And the clecos, of course, are gonna keep everything from going too far, from out of specs. And then I'm planning on locking this down and working on everything over that way. And after it's all said and done, then I'm gonna build the tower here with the weight on it. Well, the good news is I didn't destroy anything. The hinge is perfectly straight still, and I don't think the end dropped at all. And the only tension I had on it was the weight of those blocks and this being in midair. And this being in midair. So I would have had to jig it all up and measure it to know. So didn't ruin anything so far. So onward and upward. Finished the top row and unclecoed this temporarily to give me a little more room for this to fit in. And now we're gonna do those inside braces. I grabbed the other riveter. I bought this one because it has a low profile head, but it doesn't reach very deep. And the other one wouldn't fit in there at all. And you almost get this panicky feeling. Oh, come on. I'm gonna only go a little, so. I just love this little stick for reaching into places. Excellent. I know. I hear you. Take these out. Might have done something. Oh, and that goes off. Not in all the way. Sounded like it was. Now it is. I don't like to get a full pull on it again. It's just too far open for my fat fingers. You can rest assured they're good. It's really a good time when you rivet all the structure together and it comes out nice and flat, but it did the cross member corner, not the bracket I made. I looked in there and they're not touching, but the way it drew it down, the cross member, if you can see, just left a small dimple there. Really, just a little tension mark. Well, it's all riveted up tight, and the ends with these just taped in, these seem to match pretty close. So maybe it took a little bit of that twist out. I did some measuring and it seems super flat now. So I guess that worked. The only thing I have any concerns about is after putting the wire in, there's a little click right there. Right about in this area. When you touch it, you can feel it click. The rest of it is smooth as silk and they're straight, but I can make it click. I guess that's probably normal, because I don't see anything wrong with it. Now the next thing to do is put the trim together. Here we go again, Captain Obvious. I'm surprised that with all the rivets in there and the clecos, that you can still put twist in this. There's that much give in all those holes. You could probably rivet it up and have it way down on one corner. Well, that's interesting. I just looked at the trim deflection, and it's 20 degrees up and 40 degrees down, and mine goes up as high as it wants, but the bottom hits. I don't think that's 40 degrees. So this here touches. I wouldn't want to have to do that, but I think I have to. Or the arm has to be modified slightly. Well, I wonder which one's more important. The arm being trimmed slightly, or this being trimmed slightly? What do I want to weaken? That's the question. Well, I vote for, I've been thinking about it a little while I was filing this off. This is what it is. It probably shouldn't be changed. The other is reinforced with the hinge. A guy could put a doubler in there if he was worried about it. But once you file that horn down, it's over. There's no changes. From my calculations, I got about 38 out of it for that one. So it does have to miss to get that extra. See if I can do it with that. A little bit goes a long ways. And now it hits. Now it hits on the bracket itself. It misses completely. But I want to confirm it by looking at it. Again, that can't bind. Now it's hitting the rivets. Boy, there's a lot of travel there. I'm surprised. Now let's re-zero this thing. Well, that's definitely going to be enough. Better be enough because it's hitting the rivets. Just a quick reminder, all the measurements are from the top surface, even the 40. When you flip it over, that measurement has to go off that top surface because the bottom is a little different angle. And it even looks like it. This is 45 now, and all we need is 40. So it's right about there. Boy, when you hit it right, you're in the middle. They have that figured out exactly. It's 40 on the bottom and 20 on the top. I'm gonna go look up what the difference is, plus or minus. Hopefully this will save you some time. The trim tab deflection is referred to the page that we were looking at. So I didn't see any pluses or minuses. I'm gonna relook. It just says to refer to it, and that was 20 degrees up, 40 degrees down, measured off the top. There is a little bit of a gap right here. So I'm gonna make up a nylon washer to put in there. There's mine done. I just finished putting in my AS5 for stainless steel. Put in 3 of them here and 1 here, and 1 later will go on the top. Don't forget to switch out your head to a flat head, because these are domed. And I put in this last rivet that goes to, I believe, the back side of my center bracket. Oh, those two go to that. So this just goes to this sheet metal. Boy, do they pull hard. Well, this one's just about wrapped up. I'm gonna leave this arm off, the balance arm off, and just because it'll get in the way and it'll be easier. I might make the wing rack next, so that I have a place to put this stuff, because I've seen a guy online, of course, that had one with the rack above the wings, and it worked really nice. Anything in particular you guys want me to cover when I'm doing these, put some messages down at the bottom and I'll try to accommodate. Having a ball doing this, and really like bringing these to you. Now about the arm. This I really like. Okay, we started out with just stock aluminum. It's 1/16. It's the 6061T6. I made this one and didn't like a few things about it. Decided, instead of bending it so much, to just taper it and have rivets in between. Of course, the heavier end goes on here. And it's a little work of art. It's got 2 A5s, and back here where it's skinnier, an A4. And there's no adjustment. It can never fail that way. I can't see any cons in this, except that it does weigh, you know, half a gram more. I think this is the ticket. I got new pins ordered in other separate, lots of different lengths, depending on how many washers I'm going to put on to make it fit really good. This is done. I'm going to leave this off until I have to. It's all sitting over there, all clecoed together. I could start working on the tips of the stabilizer. Now that this is done, I could put that on, but I'll probably start on the flapper-ons next. Yeah. So that's just about it. Thanks for coming along. The riveting from one end to the other did seem to take a little bit of the twist out. This is very solid with that new bracket in there. And yeah, that's about it. So, hey, thanks for coming along. I'll see you in the next one.